Every week in Taiwan by Number, we share with you a facet of life in Taiwan by way of a number. And this week, we're going to be talking about a beloved Taiwanese dish called beef noodle soup.
Yes, everyone I know loves that in my family.
It's very popular here in Taiwan. It has a fascinating history, and some people would even argue that it is the national dish of Taiwan.
That's right.
So my question for you is, the history of beef noodle soup in Taiwan. Roughly what year do you think it began here in Taiwan?
1949.
1949? Are you
Roughly.
sure?
Roughly.
All right. It's a good guess, but is it correct? First of all, we're going to show you a report. The Taipei Beef Noodle Soup Competition is looking for the best bowl of beef noodle soup in Taiwan. We're going to show you this report, and I dare you not to salivate. Let's have a look.
Savory, chewy, soupy, beefy, wholesome Taiwanese goodness. That's what you'll get in a bowl of beef noodle soup. It's a dish that Taiwan is well known for, and every county and city has its own take on this respected food. Who makes it the best, though? That will be decided at the 2019 Taipei International Beef Noodle Festival competition in September. Contenders range from popular street stalls all the way up to five-star hotels. Even Taiwanese actor Cao Xing is throwing his hat into the ring. His secret weapon, his mother's recipe. A total of 56 beef noodle soup shops have made it into the preliminary round. Liu Qingzong from Jiayi is among the competitors. He won an honorable mention last year, but this time he's gunning for the top prize. He says he uses 16 different Chinese medicinal herbs for his specialty soup. Competition is fierce, and that means it's important to stand out. There are tea-flavored beef noodle soups, and one bowl is even topped with steak-grade meat. Will this year see a new champion crowned, or will old favorites continue their reign? Judges from all over the world will soon decide. Results will be announced on September 24th.
All right, so before the video, I asked you now, Lee, when the history of beef noodle soup in Taiwan began roughly. You said 1949.
That's right.
Let's have a look at the answer.
I was right.
Right, 1949. Now, we have to say the reason why it begins in 1949 is because a lot of the people who make beef noodle soup brought the recipes with them to Taiwan from China. Now, of course, there was a big influx of people from China coming to Taiwan in 1949 at the end of the Civil War. They brought two different kinds of beef noodle soup with them. A lot of Chinese Muslims in Gansu province in Lanzhou. They brought the clear beef noodle soup, qingdun de.
Right.
And then, of course, we have the more spicy version, the hongshao, the red braised beef noodle soup from Sichuan province. Now, I want to talk a little bit about how it's made. I looked up a ton of recipes in preparation for this. And I want to ask you, of course, an important part is the stock, right? So, for how long, on average, do these recipes say that you should simmer all of the many spices and ingredients to make the perfect stock?
That's a good question. 8 hours?
8 hours? It's a very good answer. Let's have a look and see what the average time is.
Only 3 hours. That's easier than I thought.
3 hours.
Good.
Now, some say you could do it in 2, but like if you really want a good stock, do 3. But some restaurants will actually do it for 24 hours. Can you believe that?
Must be good.
So now I want to talk a little bit about beef in Taiwan. Now, as I mentioned, beef noodle soup it wasn't a thing here before 1949, and that's partially because people didn't really eat beef before the 1970s. And the reason why people don't eat beef in Taiwan, still even to this day, is because cows and bulls are considered work animals. So out of respect, a lot of farmers won't eat them.
Yeah, that's kind of nice.
It is kind of nice, right?
It's a nice thought.
It's pretty
it's
sweet.
considerate.
Yeah, it's a member of the family, right? The cows and the bulls.
They help you a lot.
So I want to talk a little bit about pork, and then we're going to compare it to beef. So pork is king here in Taiwan. We eat more pork than any other type of meat, including seafood, in Taiwan, even though we're an island. Now, we can actually provide 86% of the pork that we consume in Taiwan just because the pigs are raised here. What percentage of the beef can we provide for our beef needs here in Taiwan?
Oh, wow. 30?
30%? Let's have a look at this answer.
Oh my gosh,
Only
so little.
5%.
Wow.
And a lot of the beef that we consume is imported from the United States, from Australia, from Japan. And of course, this again goes back to the fact that a lot of people see beef, or say they see their cows and bulls as kind of a member of the family. So, and we don't have a whole lot of room to raise cattle here in Taiwan. Now, I'm going to move on to the last question here today. I want to talk about the most expensive bowl of beef noodle soup
dear.
in all of Taiwan. Now, the average bowl of beef noodle soup, how much would you pay for it?
150 maybe?
Yeah, that's a good
NT,
guess.
about $5.
So definitely less than 200 NT, less than $6. Now, there is a restaurant in Taiwan called Neobaba, and they've actually even been reported on CNN and other international media. They have a presidential bowl of beef noodle soup. How much do you think they charge for one bowl of that soup?
In NT dollars?
You can do NT or US. Let's do US dollars.
250?
250 US dollars. All right, let's have a
Wild
little look
guess.
at the answer.
Oh wow, even more than that.
318
One bowl.
US dollars for a
That
bowl.
must be some good soup there.
Oh, it is a very special soup. They include all different
Have you
cuts
tried
of
it,
beef.
Andrew?
No. What's fascinating about this is you think it's a crazy price, 318 US dollars, 10,000 Taiwan dollars. But actually, for the first 14 years this restaurant was open, they let people pay whatever they thought it was worth.
Oh, and what did people pay?
Well, by the year 2007, they decided to set the menu price. And so they asked a lot of their repeat customers, and a lot of them said 10,000 Taiwan dollars.
No way. Are you serious?
Yes.
I can't believe that.
It's crazy.
I can't believe that. It's hard to believe.
So you wouldn't eat.
That's a good marketing gimmick. I don't know if it's...
Would you try it? Would you try that bowl?
I'm not going to pay for it. I'd try it, of course.
I might
That's
buy a
too
bowl
expensive.
and I would share it with like 10 friends. Everyone has one bite, right?
That might work. We should do that. Well, we have to get everyone else on board,
We'll
right?
get everybody else on board. We'll talk about that later.